This is one of the most difficult introductions I've ever tried to do. As I was lost for words, lost for words.
Really, you?
Have you
Oh,
ever been, yeah, it's unlike me. Have you ever been in a situation and been totally lost for words? I mean, it's like being stunned
mm,
as you watch something unfold before your very eyes. You know?
yes.
So let's try and make sense of what I've just read by asking a simple question. How old is a child? Uh,
Mm,
well, if the child was in care and you ask Kent County Council, a child is anyone under 25 years old. 25.
mm,
Really?
yes.
How times have changed since I was a kid. That's all I
Yes.
can.
Yeah.
And this support by the council for these children who used to be in care, they're called care leavers
Yeah.
from 18 to 25 years old. And this support by the council is bankrupting itself because of the ridiculous things it's been doing. Now, uncovered by the Reform Party after it took over control of Kent County Council after the national by-elections, uh, it has revealed after checking the financial books just what the previous people were up to. And it just boggles the brain to ask how the system got to where it did. You know, they did sort of like a Doge thing
Yeah.
on the council to check all the books and the finances to see where how the land was lying.
Yeah.
You know? And I say this not because there was a little bit of waste, because one can expect from a sloppy civil servant a
Yeah.
little bit of waste,
Yeah.
you know, because none of what the previous people were up to was in pro of the local population of what I'm about to tell you.
Right.
Right? Um, it's no wonder they're trying to reach British shores in their thousands each week. All these people on the boats,
Mm,
right? Um, the land of milk and honey just doesn't even begin to describe it. It doesn't even reach the feet of the massive problem Kent Council has put itself in.
yeah.
So let's look at what I'm on about. Let's zoom in a little bit. Um, Up until June of this year, the council has taken care of 3,036 asylum seekers children and over 1,442 care leavers. The care leavers are those 18 to
Yeah.
25-year-olds I was telling you
Okay.
about.
Yeah.
So the taxpayer is forking out, apparently, for visits to the circus, loads of purchases from Amazon,
Mm,
outings to play crazy golf,
yeah.
takeaway meals, gift cards from Currys and Argos, even airplane tickets for Virgin Atlantic, I say.
Virgin Atlantic. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Atlantis is a little bit further afield.
Well, yeah. Debatable.
No,
Yeah.
I'm sure, I'm sure as one can be in the case like this, that some of the civil servants would think a little bit closer to home, should we
Mm,
say, when it came to some of these perks,
mm,
as some of them would have called them but in general, the expense was made on behalf of bearded 12-year-olds and their country cousins. That's those that come across and
yeah.
claim their
Yes.
minds. Right?
Yes.
So breaking it down for Kent County Council, the expenditure looked like £102 and 95p at Fortman and Masons. See, this is why I think that some of the
Yeah.
civil servants might have been looking a little bit closer to home. You look at these
Yeah.
expenditures, and you,
Yes. My mind's my mind's working that. Yes, yes.
That's odd, right?
Yeah.
Uh, £162,077 at Amazon, buying things from Amazon. 11,521 at Curry's. 70,000 just over at Argos. And £12,500 at voucher line gift cards. Apparently, the poor little souls have been given gift cards that they exchange in shops.
Right. Okay.
Untraceable, of course.
Mm. Yes.
The council also spent on outings like £279 and 91 pence at Santa's Circus. That's quite a few tickets there,
Yep. Mm.
unless it's an expensive circus, of course.
Well, not gonna say anything on that.
Yeah.
Suspect I know what's gone on there. Yeah.
£6,055 at the local swimming baths.
Mm.
55 £50 at Mr. Mulligan's Crazy Golf. That doesn't seem to be very much a popular pastime. However, it was £55 and 50 worth, and even £300 for driving lessons for kids that aren't even at the age that they can drive until they reach 18, of course,
Yeah.
17.
I'm scratching my head on that one. Yes, I must admit. Yeah.
Right. There was also uh, unearthed £5,793 worth of flights from Virgin Atlantic. Now, where were they going to?
Hmm.
Sounds like a weekend away at Barbados.
Well, wherever. Yeah. Yeah. My mind's working on this one. I'm
Yeah.
thinking yes.
£5,793 at Domino's Pizzas and 1,127 at Pizza Express. Somebody likes pizza. Of course, one could be forgiven for thinking that all this was found out about a rogue county council. You
Hmm.
know, a little bit like those sanctuary cities in the
Yeah.
US,
Yes. Yeah.
so it's specific for that place. But no, it seems that the County Council of Nottinghamshire has been up to the same shite. £38,007 at McDonald's. It's a lot of Big Macs.
Yeah.
7,143 at Domino's. Just over 2,000 at Nando's. 2,043 at Greg's. So a lot of pasties.
Yeah.
6,676 at Costa Coffee.
Hmm.
2,407 at Starbucks.
Yeah.
As well as nearly £3,000 on Netflix and £1,500 on Disney Plus. All of these are in pro of
Hmm.
uh, asylum-seeking children and under 25 years, up to under 25 years of age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Doncaster didn't want to be left out. Doncaster.
Dunny. Oh yeah. Of course. Yeah.
So 6,500 at MacD's,
Mm.
almost 6,000 going to Greg's.
Yeah.
Seems like they eat more Greg's in the north.
Well, I think that's yeah.
1,123 at Nando's, 5,106 at Costa Coffee, and 2,249 at Starbucks. But either way you look at it, I'm sure that there are many under 25-year-olds in the UK having to either copper up for a Starbucks on the
Mm.
outside,
Yeah.
and if they don't have enough, what do? They go to the little cafe on the corner
Mm.
just to keep out the cold on a
Yeah.
winter's day,
Yes.
just like I used to do.
Mm.
So it's no wonder why the British public are getting pissed off. Off, off you go with that one.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'm just going to open up when you're talking about the care system, okay, which is something to start with home and then the
Yeah.
bolts on after that. Okay. For years, people of a certain political persuasion have been complaining since the 1980s about the childcare system isn't being properly run under this various administration and everything else. So they knew there was problems, knew there were problems already existing with the existing British population. Yeah, and they're not wrong. I mean, admittedly, yes, it was wrong. The care system it is needs a bit of attention to it. Yeah, and when you're saying up to 25, yeah, well, you can't just suddenly kick a kick someone out of a system, a bit like kicking someone out of the army. A lot of people leave the army, all due respect to military people, they haven't got a clue about civil life. So the same happens with kids who leave the care system. I've seen it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
No, that is not um, true.
Well, I'll come
Because
back.
normally when a kid is 16, 17 years old, they should be trained from then on to adapt to outside life
Well,
and
this,
not to be thrown out of the system
yeah, well,
and then be cosseted for another 3 or 4 years.
yeah, well, I'm making this point, yeah, that somehow they're not being properly prepared for life. I mean, none of us are prepared for life. Even I came from a a a stable, secure background. When compared with yourself, you were moving a lot because you come from you're an army, you're a military brat. I wasn't that. I was stable, and yeah, you get into the real world and you learn quite quickly that life isn't always fair, etc., etc., etc.
Right.
Yeah. And even with the best care and everything else, and now I'm going through it with my daughter that, I'm being a good dad, a good father, and helping her in life. Yeah. Navigate without interfering, without helicoptering, as we call it. Yeah. Um, but it's a, so there was already a problem. Now, okay, I do think that people do need support. You can't just push like even a 16-year-old out into the big wide world and not have some sort of support. You may agree or disagree with this. Okay. 18 is the age of majority in the UK. Yeah. Yes, our children are not being prepared under normal circumstances leaving school, even to go to university now. Yeah. I don't or say ours, I mean the UK. I don't live there. I can see things from a distance, as it were. I do get reports, but um, so yes, going into the big wide world is difficult for anyone. Anyone that's not had a traditional nuclear family background is going to find a little bit difficulty there. Okay, I accept that. Probably 25 is a bit excessive. Probably 20, I would say, is the outside upper limit when somebody should be developed. I mean, there was a case this week of this guy who I think hit a policeman, or policewoman, and the judge has said, well, he was under 21, his brain hadn't properly developed. I know. Well, that is actually, yeah, true, but you should be on the way to be having a developed brain and being aware of what you're doing. Yeah. Um, I mean, there's no excuse for 16-year-olds to behave the way they do sometimes, but yeah, I'll get back onto the main point. So yeah, I do believe that there should be some support after someone has left the care system. Okay. Quite what that is probably case dependent. But obviously we already had an existing issue in the UK, let alone other social issues we had that were always been highlighted. But now the people on, if you like, the Labour side, yeah, and I'm not saying everyone on Labour hasn't got a point, are now calling for more and more people to be welcomed into British society. Yeah. Um, yeah, I'm going to get into the next part of it. So now we've already got existing problems with our own youth, yeah, late teens, early 20s. And then you're introducing more coming in. Yeah. And
I
yeah,
go on, go on, go on.
yeah. Now getting on to this thing about expenditure. Yeah, I mean, all doges is a great big audit. Yeah, which most companies should do. If I'm being quite honest, I mean, yeah, you mustn't pay a company to excessive amount to come in and audit you. But yeah, there's ways of auditing. You can audit yourself internally with your own bean counters or people that can add two and two and equal four. Yeah, which does seem to be a bit of a problem in the civil service sometimes, from what I can see. Yeah. But yeah, that's when you bring in an outside accountant for a limited time to say, see what you can scratch around and find. Yeah. Um, I mean, companies will do this. You get. I mean, I've worked in the private sector, and go, yeah, they do watch money. Um, Project managers get asked why they're spending so much money. They have to account for everything. I was a site manager. I had to account for every pound I spent.
Of
Yeah,
course.
quite literally every single. If there was 50p, I've had actually somebody say, well, where did this go? And I managed to find it on a spreadsheet. Yeah. Um, I had to account for everything. I mean, I kept everything. I had a file of records of everything that happened on site. If there was an expense that didn't go through the books, I sent an email about it. Yeah. Not through the books when I mean that couldn't be recorded or something got lost. I told them, yeah, where it had gone to. Yeah. I didn't actually have a petty cash box on my sites. Yeah. I had a, did I have a credit card? I think I could claim expenses, which got paid back quite quickly. Yeah. Um, so yeah, so in the private sector, there's auditing. Um, if you get caught in the private sector doing things or spending money on pizzas or anything else that you can't justify spending, your manager gets very awkward questions asked. If they've signed it off, you then get asked very awkward questions. Yeah. You're not always told if there's an investigation. The first you know about it is when, well, is when the police arrive at your front door or in your office. Yeah, as the case may be. Or you may be pulled into the office and asked, given a please explain straight in front of a manager or a senior manager. Yeah, that's never happened to me, but I
Yeah,
know
no,
people.
what happens in a private company, Mark, is up to the private company.
Yeah, I'm reverse.
We're not talking about a private company.
Yeah, but
We're talking about taxpayer money.
yeah, well,
With
this is it. There's no such thing as yeah. This thing about public money. There's no such thing. Yeah, so I'm getting to that. So I'm just making my own experiences, and
money is all public.
yeah, but
All public.
that is even more important then, and that's the point I'm making. The private sector, people can spend money and do what they want. Yeah,
They do what they want with it.
yeah,
If the company goes bust, it goes bust.
yeah.
That's
That's the point I'm making. Trying to make.
okay.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Now the point I'm trying to make is, and I'm comparing this now. I've also worked in the public sector. Yeah. And I will tell you, it is happy days. They don't care, as you said, there's a little bit of waste. There's quite a lot of waste. Always was in the public sector because you didn't care. And it's not to say you didn't, but there is this big thing of a, oh, it's, you know, nobody really pays that much attention. And also, yeah, there's customer practice goes on in the public sector as well. Yeah. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to start making allegations here of things I don't know about. You've read a list of things, and I don't quite understand why people coming out of care and or aside or illegal immigrants or asylum seekers will need some of the things that you've asked. It sounds like they've got a very bad diet if they're constantly going to
Like
a
these.
spicy chicken or
Yeah.
a eating a lot of pizzas.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to die before they're 30. Um, yeah, I and again that should be raised. That should have been raising alarm bells. Okay, you've got a different administration regime has now moved into um, the the councils, one that has a little bit of a more business type focus. That's the point I'm making. Um, their attitude is, to me, very private sector. Yeah. So they're bringing, if you like, the private sector way of thinking into the public sector and asking all the right questions. Now, okay, they've found this. It sounds like they've only scratched on the surface. they haven't actually done a deep dive yet. Okay. Um, from what I know, nobody's actually been laid off from any of these council jobs yet. I haven't heard of mass redundancies or mass
Well,
resignations.
I think, as we both know, when it comes to public servants,
Yeah.
uh, it's. I'm surprised they've still got room they've still got space in the offices because they all seem to be just getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, that's what happens under
Eventually,
modern.
the bubble's going to have to burst.
Well, that's the point. It never does. They'll put up taxes. They'll do other things. They'll keep it coming in, and and then
Yeah,
and then people in the civil service and I'm not saying all council workers and civil service, but yeah, they'll get so many all these perks and everything else. Yeah, no questions asked, or not the right questions asked. Um, it'll be interesting to see who's getting the pizzas. Oh, we're working late. We'll order in a pizza and we'll put it against this cost center, cost
yeah.
code. Yeah. I think there's a lot of that has gone on, which again should be raised. What the hell is going on here? People have gone out on site to look at something. Oh, we're going to juggle around the cost center numbers or the cost codes. Yeah. Oh, we've still got money in this budget. We'll put it into that. Yeah. And it sounds like this is exactly what's happened. This happens in the private sector as well, but yeah, it's kind of accepted and people know it goes on. Um, yeah, there used to be things called the slush fund, or one particular project got called the slush fund because it wasn't happening. Everybody just put their costs against that. Yeah. And this is why I'm sort of saying it, we're having the private sector. Well, it's coming to the public sector now. Fair fair dinkum to reform who are trying to select people in the business world as their politicians. Yeah. Um, Not social care workers and people like that who do have their place. And yeah, a lot of people go social care workers. They are highly trained people who are trained to spot issues and understand things. Yeah. They're just not very good at accounting. That's all. Yeah.
Apparently, they're not very good at being a social worker either. If they're going to have to cost it an 18-year-old until he's 25.
Well, the I mean, social workers do have to deal with some quite harrowing cases, and I'm going to defend. I have met some. Yeah,
It's not wide. It's not wide and um, it's not widespread,
no, no, but
right? Which is why it's ringing alarms for the prices that these expenses claims
mm,
that um you know it seems to me that they are trying to make the thing too liberal,
yeah,
and which is exactly the point of this is that it's no wonder they're coming across by the thousands
mm.
in the boats to the UK.
Well, yes. I mean, I did see today also that apparently France is now going to give, or a court in France has announced that they're going to give. I think court's a headline. Are going to give Ghanaians refugee status in France because of the way they're suffering. Yeah, because it's illegal not to. Yeah, which I found, you know what's going to be happening there straight away. Yeah,
They'll all want to live in Calais.
as a stop-off point. Yeah, yes, yeah.
They'll get the legal status in France, become French.
Well, it's not even that. It's a refugee. I mean, yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's just this court in France has said this particular thing. So yeah. So the problem is going to multiply. Um, yes, and yeah, but we know this. I mean, councils are wasteful as it is. We know that because how many are going bankrupt, and somebody has had to shine a torch on what's going on.
Right, exactly.
And okay, they're called. You've just mentioned free. They're the three that have just changed under new management, as it were. Um, how many more are going to be found out? Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. For
Uh,
sure.
Now the next question is: okay, you found this is going on. Who's going to be able to put in the procedures to prevent it happening anymore.
Well, we're going to have to see who's going to do that in these three councils
Mm.
by by the people who are taking the councils over.
Well, you're still going to have the same structures there. You can find whatever you want. You're still going to have the same structures there. It's like,
Yes,
and this is where it's like, this is
you
where it's
change
like,
the, if you change the legislation, then you're going to say you must not do that, and if they do, then it's grave. It's going to be a grave thing
well,
against the file, and
well,
eventually they will be sacked.
well, there's probably the procedures already in place to prevent it, and nobody's adhering to it. And who will then all do it? You're still going to have the same people administrating it. Yeah, we can be well aware.
Like I said, my last line in my preamble was,
Yeah,
it's no wonder that the British people are pissed off.
yeah.
I mean, I am, and I'm a long, long way away.
Well, I ha having been in the sort of system, and I'm not saying too much about what I've seen or anything, but I'm not overall shocked or surprised. I just know that I didn't play it. I wouldn't be allowed to. Yeah. Some people know how to play it. And again, that's the attitude. Oh, we can get away with it. Who cares?
And
And
apparently it isn't. I'm not going to put all the blame on the actual government,
yeah,
national government, because it's been going on for a long time. It's just that now it's been uncovered.
well, you and I both hate the concept of big government. But yes, local authorities should be able to administrate themselves in the most efficient way. And they're always saying, "Oh, we're going for an efficiency drive." And that always whenever I hear a council say, "Oh, we're going to do an efficiency drive," well, what the hell have you been doing up to yet? Now, yeah, um, it's yeah, I always find it quite interesting. Or yeah, I mean, we discuss things that happen here, but that's a different thing. But yeah, it's the same thing. What happens to the money is always getting asked here about a project that starts and doesn't finish for running out of money or something. Well, how? Sure, that was earmarked. Doesn't happen as much as it used to. Admittedly, Brazil's beginning to sort itself out, disregards of the seed administration, but Brazil works in a different way from the UK. So I'm not gonna make comparisons there. Um, but yeah, okay. As I keep saying, reform can take over whatever administrations they want around the country. How are they going to do it? The minute anyone tries to change anything, they're going to hit a wall of resistance. Um, they are. You can bet if a councillor tries to actually do something, they're going to be accused of all sorts of things. Yeah.
Doesn't
Um,
matter. It depends on who gets elected. As long as if the public knows, then they're going to elect who they're going to elect, and if they elect the wrong people, it's their own fault.
well, it's not
And
a
I'm not wanting to do a party political broadcast on
no,
behalf of the Reform Party.
no, no. I mean,
Not what I'm
that's
up to. That's not what I'm up to.
no.
It's just like it's just been as this little gem came out not 2 days ago.
Yeah. Well, that's what I
Uh,
mean. You can get your reform, or your heritage or
whoever
whomever.
whoever
Yeah.
it is,
That they have a big struggle. And yeah, the blob works on high level, it works on low level as well. And that's the big thing I'm saying. You've got to be able to, if you like, clear, clear out the blob, clear the blob.
I'm just glad that I live here.
Well, we do have our equivalents here as well. Let's be honest about that.
But I'm not part of it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I'm an outsider living here on the inside,
Yeah, I mean, I mean,
and I'm an insider here looking at the look. I'm on the inside of here looking from the outside of the UK.